Janice Imoisi here with Texas Realty. And today in Chapter 2, we're going to talk about upfront out-of-pocket fees. Now, in Chapter 1, I went over bank statements and credit, and I don't know why, for the life of me, it just took me forever to get that particular video done. It's so heated and it's so complicated that I always say just talk to the lender and they'll best advise you on the bank statements and the credit. But I did want to just kind of point some things out briefly and quickly in that video. So if you haven't seen it, go back to Chapter 1 and take a quick look at that video, and then come back here to Chapter 2. So today we're going to talk about upfront out-of-pocket fees. Again, these are fees that are part of the transaction, and this should be money that you already have in your bank account and ready to go once called upon to write checks off your account for these particular fees. So the fees that we're talking about is earnest money, option fee check, the inspection, the appraisal, down payment, plus closing costs, and maybe even a survey. Like I said, that's negotiable. It just depends. Sometimes there's an existing survey and the lender is okay with using it, or the title company. And sometimes there's not an existing survey, and it just depends on who's going to pay for that. It's negotiable. Either the seller will pay or the buyer will pay. So those are 6 fees that we're talking about. Again, earnest money, option fee, inspection, appraisal, down payment, plus closing costs, and then you have that survey. So let's cover these one at a time. The first 2 fees, the earnest money and the option fee check. Earnest money is typically 1% of the sales price. When your offer is accepted, your realtor will ask you for 2 checks. The first check is going to be the earnest money check, which she's going to place with the contract and deliver it to the title company. And the title company is going to hold your money in escrow. You will get a credit back towards your down payment from that earnest money check that you put down that went over to the title company. The second check is called an option fee check. That check is going to be made out to the seller. And by the way, the earnest money check is made out to the title company. So the option fee check is in consideration to the seller that you're going to be pulling their home off the market to have it inspected for a certain number of days. In the contract, it may either say 10 days or it may even say 12 days. But during that time period, you're going to have the home inspected. So you're going to hire an inspector to come and inspect the home. And when you meet with the inspector, guess what? You have to pay them a fee for that. So you're going to write a check to the inspector for inspecting the home. After the home is inspected, we now have a conversation with the seller, if need be, if something came up in the inspection report that you want to bring to the seller's attention, to have them fixed. And if everything is A-okay and we're both in agreement, then the next thing that is done, the lender is notified, and then they will order the appraisal. So now the lender wants you to pay for that appraisal. So you're going to have to get with the lender and pay them the money for the appraisal. Now, the down payment and closing costs come at the very end. So the lender will give you an estimate of your total closing costs. So part of your closing cost is going to come from some of the fees you've already paid. The only fee you will not get a credit for is the inspection. Now, to recap on that, the earnest money is typically 1% of the sales price. The option fee is anywhere from $100 to, I've seen it as high as $300. And like I said, everything is negotiable. The inspection is based off of the square footage of the home and if the house has a swimming pool. So all of those things go into play or come into play when it comes down to the inspection fee. So I've seen the fee be anywhere from, like I said, $325 all the way up to $600. It just depends on the square footage of the home. It can be higher. It depends on if the house has a swimming pool. So those things are going to come into play when you pay the inspector a fee for coming to inspect the house that you're looking to buy. Now, when we start talking about the down payment and closing costs, the down payment is based on the type of loan that you are receiving. If you are receiving an FHA loan, they typically require 3.5% down payment. If you're receiving a conventional loan, there's possibly 2 types of conventional loans. Actually, there's 3. The first is 3% loan, down payment. The second one could be 5%. And then, of course, there's a jumbo or a non-conforming loan. If you're buying over $484,000, I believe it is, 484, 350, which is considered a jumbo loan. Now, if it's a USDA or VA loan, that requires zero down payment, but both of those loans require closing costs. And a lot of times people get that confused, that when they're when they don't have to put a down payment, they forget about that there are closing costs. And those closing costs consist of underwriting, processing, origination fee, your first year homeowner's insurance, the interest, and the escrow account that they set up for you for the loan, so that you can have the principal, interest, tax, or the taxes and insurance are in that account, so that at the end of the year, the different taxing authorities, the bank is going to write a check to those different places and mail out on your behalf. Same thing for the insurance, the homeowner's insurance. At the end of the year, that escrow account is set up so that the bank will end up sending out that payment on your behalf. So again, just to recap, we have upfront out-of-pocket fees, we have earnest money, we have option fee check, we have the inspection, we have the appraisal, we have the survey, possibly, if there's an existing survey, probably not, but we have a survey, and then we have your down payment and closing costs. So the down payment and closing costs will come towards the end, but the other fees are going to be paid out of pocket up front, pretty much once your offer is accepted and you're under contract. Now, I hope this video helped you to understand the upfront out-of-pocket fees and to understand a little bit about down payment and closing costs. If you like this video, please click the like button and please subscribe to any future videos, because I will be moving forward with the home buying process. And hopefully you will have a smooth transaction. The whole purpose of me doing these videos is so that as you go through the home buying process, you understand it a little bit clearer, and your loan experience would be a beautiful one. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, see you soon.